Karenicity is unbelievable. Put up the picture. We got her name, where she works, her boss. I want to remind you of a couple of things that happened in this video. Obviously, it is telling, right? You know, she said, and I quote, "You are hurting my fetus, my unborn child." Did you all hear that part? She said that. Why did she say that? Because that bolsters her argument to do what she's attempting to do, which is theft under any other circumstance. We will call this attempted theft if the black male went up to the white female who paid for her opportunity to utilize the device and he decided to grab it and try to take it. We will call that clearly attempted theft. So let's call it as it is.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, it looks like the race hustlers of America, people like Rashard Richey, may be wrong once again. Okay, Rashard Richey is a guy whose whole channel is dedicated towards inciting racial hatred, okay, particularly towards white women. Okay, he has a whole series of videos, okay, every single day. He does a video on his channel about Karens, okay, aka white women, because Karen is a slur directed towards white women who act up in public. He has a whole channel dedicated towards exposing them and inciting hatred towards white women. And this guy couldn't help himself, and him and a bunch of other race hustlers as well jumped on this story about a white woman leaving a hospital and allegedly trying to steal a bike from a group of black men. Which, you know, when I first heard this story, I already knew in my head, I was like, something's not right. Okay, we need more context in regards to what happened, as there is a video that went viral showing this woman attempting to get a bike that it looks like that you have to pay for, and she's been accused of stealing from a group of black men who had already paid for the bike, allegedly. And then a altercation takes place on camera in which the black men accuse the woman of stealing. The woman then gets upset and starts crying for help, and basically has a meltdown on camera because the black guys are accusing her of stealing. And she gets a whole lot of backlash from race hustlers like Rashard Richey, who accuse her of being a racist, claiming that her behavior and her actions is the reason why black men get locked up, because you have white women making false accusations towards black men.
Just in case you needed a reminder that women like Carolyn Bryant are still alive and well today, and even working in the medical field.
This is my fake client. Guys, this is fake client. Stop fake client. Hey, stop touching me. I don't touch you. Hold up. Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me. Why don't you take this bike? Stop touching me. I will. Exactly. So take it. So take it. Fuck out of here.
So that young man paid for the bike, and this healthcare Karen thought she was entitled to it. And because she's crying these fake tears, this dude takes her side and says to reset the bike. Reset the bike for what? It's his bike. He paid for it. People like this are dangerous. In this case, they should have been screaming out for help because she was the danger. And then doing all that pushing and shoving, taking his phone, talking about her fetus, ridiculous.
But again, it seems like in this situation, the black men may have been the ones making false accusations, at least according to this woman's lawyer. So I want to talk about it, but before I get into it, I want to play a video, a news clip, so that you guys can get a better understanding of what happened here and some of the backlash this woman is getting. And then we're going to get into some new discoveries about what happened.
City hospital workers facing some criticism tonight over a confrontation that was caught on cell phone camera. At the center of the back and forth between that woman and a group of apparent teens was a Citi Bike.
News 4's Checky Beckford walks us through the now viral dispute that some say could have put those young men in danger.
Well, the video initially posted on Twitter on Saturday has nearly 37 million views, with commenters blasting that hospital worker for potentially putting the safety of those young men at risk.
Report him.
The roughly 2-minute video starts with a white woman wearing hospital scrubs straddling a city bike, screaming for help, even though she doesn't appear to be in danger.
Please help me.
This is not your bike, repeats the young black man standing next to her, who says he just rented that city bike. His friends standing around him.
This is my bike. It's on my account.
Please get off.
While the video doesn't show the young man touching her, it does show her remove her hospital badge, then grab the young man's phone.
Why you took his phone?
The woman then tells him he's hurting her fetus.
I'm not touching you.
When a man, also in scrubs, inquires what's wrong, the woman all of a sudden appears to begin sobbing. When the man tells the woman to choose another bike, she calmly removes herself. Another young man recording the video can be heard saying,
How you stop crying? Not a tear came down, miss.
We do not know what happened before the recording began at this city bike stand near East 30th and 1st Avenue. But many are blasting the hospital worker, a physician's assistant who NYC Health and Hospitals Bellevue say appears to work for them. The city hospital group saying they are sorry this happened and are reviewing the incident. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump tweeting, "This is unacceptable," and "She grossly tried to weaponize her tears to paint this man as a threat. This is exactly the type of behavior that has endangered so many black men in the past." No one answered at the woman's Brooklyn apartment or returned our calls for comment. This woman lives in her building.
That woman lives in this building with me?
Another neighbor who knows the woman in the video told us off camera he believes the incident is being blown out of proportion. But this neighbor says the young men could have ended up in jail or worse.
It's clearly like a Karen, a Central Park Karen.
She's referring to the Central Park incident where a woman walking her dog called 911 on a black bird watcher.
She thinks that she's viewed as a victim because she's white. And she thinks that. That's obvious in this America that we all live in.
And the NYPD says it is aware of that viral video, but did not receive a 911 call and does not have a report. They do say if anyone believes that they were a victim of a crime, that they should come forward. In Kips Bay, Jackie Beckford, News 4, New York.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, this woman is facing a whole lot of backlash. Okay, she's being doxxed and harassed, including by the media. You can see how the media is framing this, okay? And one of the reasons why I didn't say anything about it is because I was like, no, we need more context, right? There's no way that this is how this happened, okay? Because just common sense, using common sense, and I could be wrong. I'm admitting I could be wrong about this. There's more to come out about this. But just using common sense, what is more likely? Is it more likely for a physician's assistant, which I can imagine she's probably very well paid, to steal a bike from a group of young guys, or the other way around? Right? Is it more likely for a group of young guys to try to steal a bike from a physician's assistant? I'm just saying, just use your common sense. There's no reason, there's no incentive for a hospital worker, a physician's assistant, or even a nurse, or really anybody that has a job like that, to try to steal a bike from a group of young guys. Who knows what they were doing? Who knows what jobs they work? Has nothing to do with race, has everything to do with the knowledge of this person's profession. And I just don't think that this woman is out here trying to accuse black dudes of stealing a bike, especially considering how she probably has much more to worry about than that. She's pregnant, okay? So without further ado, let's read about her lawyer who is speaking out about this and providing receipts, evidence that this story that the race hustlers put out there is not being told right. So let's read here. The lawyer for a Manhattan hospital worker accused of taking a city bike from a young black man who claimed that he paid for the two-wheeler provided receipts that he said showed she was the one who purchased the ride at the center of the viral moment. The Bellevue hospital employee, who was branded a Karen on social media afterwards, rented the bike first, lawyer Justin Marino said in a statement to the Post Wednesday. He also provided 2 Citi Bike receipts from May 12th, which were time-stamped just minutes apart. The first receipt, reviewed by the Post, shows the bike being taken out before it was relocked 1 minute later, which Marino said is the bike seen in the video. Okay, so he showed one receipt for the bike seen in the video. Okay, so she unlocks the bike. I'm assuming she paid for it. She has a receipt, right? He has a receipt allegedly. And the bike is being relocked a minute later. I'm assuming because the black dudes basically kicked her off, right? The second receipt shows another bike being taken out a minute later from the same docking station and was the bike Marino said his client used to get home after being heckled and pressured to find a new bike by the group. Just saying, right? Seems to me that the race hustlers might have got this one wrong, right? They might have jumped the gun here a little bit prematurely. It seems like, at least according to the receipts that were allegedly provided by the lawyer, that, hey, she actually did purchase that bike. Now, why would these black dudes accuse her of stealing the bike? Who knows? Again, it could be a social media prank. They could have been trying to take the bike. We don't know. But at the very least, it seems that the lawyer here has provided receipts. According to the New York Post, we don't actually have the receipts. We don't see the receipts. But allegedly, she owned that bike. All right. She had the rights to ride that bike. The hospital employee, who Moreno says is a 6-month pregnant physician assistant, was placed on leave by New York City Health Plus Hospitals this week after her heated argument with the man emerged online Saturday and has been viewed tens of millions of times. Yeah, so again, imagine that. You're pregnant, you have a job, and you've been put on leave because of what seems to be, as of right now, false accusations of racism. Moreno called the caught-on-tape interaction incomplete and lacking facts. He said that the healthcare worker wrapped up a 12-hour shift. She got on an available bike, quote, which no individual were on or touching, and paid for it through the Citi Bike app on her phone. As she backed it up from the docking station, a group of 5 people approached her and claimed the bike was theirs, he said. Quote, one or more individuals in that group physically pushed her bike with her on it back into the docking station, causing it to relock, Moreno said in the written statement. One of the individuals then covered the bike's QR code, stopping her from paying for it again so she could leave, Moreno said. Quote, in blocking the QR code, this individual's arm was touching my client's pregnant stomach, a condition of which she had made them aware, he added. Throughout this time and for the remainder of the video, roughly 5 individuals were telling her to get off the bike and heckling her. Quote, the fact any would treat another person like this is tragic, especially a visibly pregnant woman, he said. The roughly 90-second clip that begins mid-confrontation shows the woman dressed in hospital-branded scrubs screaming for help as she tugs at the bike. Help me, please help me, she yelled. So, I mean, rightfully, again, if this is how it happened, yeah, she was right to yell for help because these guys were actually harassing her, right? Again, we don't know why. Maybe they were trying to take the bike. I don't know why they would do this. But, again, apparently this is what they were doing. If that bike actually belonged to them, they need to provide receipts stating so. Otherwise, they should be thrown in jail. I'm so serious. They asses, right, should be put in jail. Okay, just like women who falsely accuse men of, you know what, okay, or assault, these guys who are putting out false accusations of racism, falsely accusing this woman of stealing his bike, should be thrown in jail for it because this woman's life has been ruined. Imagine the stress that this woman's going through as a pregnant woman having to deal with the backlash. Fake backlash from social media. Again, this burns me up, man. People want to talk about what is causing so much racial hatred in this country. It's stuff like this. This is the problem. The young man kept his grip on the bike's handlebars and repeatedly told the woman that he already paid to use that particular bike and it wasn't hers. Quote, get off me, you're hurting my fetus. The woman then shouted as she pushed the man away. Quote, I'm not touching you, you're putting your stomach on my hand, the man replied. Halfway through the clip, the hospital worker appears to start crying as another man in the same scrubs approached the melee to see what was going on. The young man again claimed to the woman the bike was on his account and asked her to move before she rented another bike on the advice of her colleague. Some social media users call the interaction racist, while others compare the situation to when Amy Cooper called the police on a black bird watcher in 2020 and lost her job over it. The NYPD said it did not receive any 911 calls over this incident. Moreno said his client is a dedicated hospital worker who has treated literally thousands of New York City residents of all backgrounds/ethnicities. Simply, her life has been focused on helping others irrespective of their background, Moreno said. NYC Health Plus Hospitals called the video disturbing when announcing she was placed on leave Tuesday, the hospital system said the woman would remain on leave pending review of the incident. Marino declined to comment on anything tied to his client's employment Wednesday. NYC Health Plus Hospitals did not immediately return a request for a comment Wednesday. Now, again, all this is alleged. I want to make that clear. It's all alleged, okay? But if it turns out that this situation was a false accusation of racism, these guys should go to jail. Every single last one of them, they should be in jail. And she should sue them for everything that they're worth. They probably ain't worth nothing, right? If they're making these types of claims. But they should be sued. Not only that, Rashard Ritchie and the other race hustlers, particularly, again, ones that are employed by big companies, like, for example, TYT, they need to issue a full-throated apology to this woman, or else they should be fired, right? I mean, again, why are you employing people like Rashard Ritchie, who's coming out here and inciting a mob to go after a pregnant woman over false allegations of racism based off an incomplete video? If he refuses to issue an apology, he should be fired. He should lose his job. This is not the first time he's done that. He accused a little league team of being racist, falsely accused them of being racist because they were putting stuffing in a black kid's hair. Said it was racism. In reality, not only were they putting stuffing in a black kid's hair, they were also putting stuffing in a white kid's hair too. They were trying to imitate a player from another team that they admired. They thought that he had cool hair. But again, instead of actually looking into the situation, making sure that, hey, you know what, let's see if there's anything else going on here. No. We're just going to cry racism because we're triggered. We're hurt. Now, again, you got the people who have made money, who gain clout on social media, going after this woman, accusing her of being a racist Karen. They're coming out here and doing mental gymnastics and saying, well, even if she has receipts, that's not the issue. The issue is her behavior and how she acted.
I have an update on Citi Bike Karen. It looks like she got a lawyer who put out this statement saying that they have receipts showing that she was the one who reserved that bike before the other gentleman. Now, she's got another receipt showing her getting another bike minutes after, like it showed when she got off of the bike at the end of the video. Allegedly. Because we don't know what time the video took place, so those receipts can be placed at any time during the day. So we will get more information as this continues. And when they get a lawyer to throw a wrench in the minor details so it'll detract from the actual problem. I have not seen these receipts and I don't know what time the video took place, so I can't confirm whether or not she was stealing the bike or this was a big mistake. But nothing excuses her behavior. You would think, hey, no, I actually rented that bike, would be something she would say during any of that interaction. But no. Instead, she screamed for help and pretended to cry. So now, that's the issue.
And I'm like, how would you act if you purchase a bike and then some random dudes, especially as a woman, come up to you and start accusing you of stealing the bike? Right? Do you think that you're going to be totally fine and okay with that? Because a lot of these people have no idea what this woman was going through, especially being pregnant. Again, I can imagine there's a whole lot of stress. Her job, being 6 months pregnant, you don't know what was going through her head. Right? In situations like that, again, imagine being a woman being approached by 5 black dudes saying that, oh, you stole my bike, that you can't take this bike. Knowing that she just paid for it. Again, you don't know what was going through her head. In situations like that, again, somebody like her could go into some type of shock. They don't know what to say. And maybe the first thing that can come to mind, maybe the first thing that she can do is to say, hey, help. Okay, to have an emotional breakdown. Again, the lack of concern for this woman and her emotional well-being, especially considering how she's pregnant, it's disgusting, man. It really is. And no, this is not me coming to the defense of a Karen or a white woman. No, this is just me being a reasonable human being. It doesn't matter what the race is. If that was a black woman and those guys were white, I would say the exact same thing. There's no regard for how this woman felt. There's no regard for the situation that she was put in, because they're more concerned about the witch hunt than they are about the facts. Instead of letting the facts play out, no, we're going to go on a witch hunt. ruin this woman's life, cause her more stress while she's pregnant, okay, dox her, and then we're going to ask questions later, right? We're going to ruin this woman's life first, ask questions later, let the facts play out later. And that's why I said again, if this woman and her lawyer provide evidence, which apparently they have to the New York Post, that that bike belonged to her, those black dudes need to go to jail. They need to go to jail, and they should be sued for everything they're worth. Again, they're probably not worth much. And again, people that went on social media need to be held accountable for ruining this woman's life. Okay? Because this doesn't make sense. You could have waited for the facts to come out before deciding to ruin this woman's life, but no, let's go on a witch hunt. The modern day social media lynching over false allegations of racism. Now, I don't know. I'm just saying, I want to see receipts. Somebody, some party has the receipts. I want to see the receipts before coming to a conclusion about what happened. But if I was a betting man, I would guess that that bike probably belonged to that woman. But then again, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.